You may have heard the old phrase, April showers bring May flowers. Well, take a look at this painting of the April showers. We know that we do get a lot of rain showers in April, and they bring about our spring wildflowers. Some of them come up in April and we don't even have to wait for May, like the white trillium, the state wildflower of Ohio. Or take a look at these distinctive leaves. The dappling spotted pattern reminds some people of the side of a trout fish. And that's where this plant gets its name. It's called the trout lily. And here it is in flower with its beautiful yellow lily flower. Very important as an early spring nectar source for our pollinators. Just like these dandelions. Some people think they're weeds, but really they provide food source to honeybees and other pollinators that are out and about in the early springtime. Fruit trees and their blossoms provide a good nectar source as well. This honeybee is on a pear tree pollinating blossoms right in our neighborhood on West 45th Street. Checking in with our plants again this week, we see that they continue to grow and get bigger and add leaves. At this point I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leaves. And I see the beginnings of leaf number 7 and leaf number 8 as well. So, good progress from our Mexican sunflowers here. You may remember that some of our flowers did not germinate. That means they didn't start to grow. I don't know why those seeds didn't grow. This one did, but these two did not. And that's all right. Sometimes these things happen, and with gardening, we just replant. So I kept my seed envelope from before, and I got some of the extra seeds out. And I'm going to put 2 of them in each cup. I'm going to push them just below the soil and cover them up and press it down. Notice they're not very deep because they're not very big seeds. Little seeds can't go too deep. There's a seashell in this cup. My daughter put it in there for decoration. I like it. So if ever you have seeds that don't come up, just try again. That's a good process. And now we'll give these another shot. And I'm going to write the date, our second date on here. Today is April the 28th. April the 29th is today, the day I'm filming. Moving down the line, here's our cilantro. These plants are growing so close together and so thick that they're not going to be able to be transplanted. See how long and thin those stems are? That's called getting leggy. It means that they've been competing too much for resources like sun and water and space. So what I'll end up doing is, since this is a kitchen herb, the cilantro, we'll cut off here and use these sprouts, and it can go right on top of some soup or maybe on top of a taco for Taco Tuesday. And then we can replant cilantro. This is a good time of year to plant cilantro outside too. My little tomato plant. That one needs to wait until at least the middle of May before we transplant outside. Next week or the week after, we'll talk a little bit more about how to transplant. And here's another leggy plant. This sunflower has really grown long, but not very strong. I think we started it too soon. Sunflowers are a big deal summertime plant. So I think I'm going to try to transplant it outside, but I'm also going to plan to plant some more seeds this week and next week. And then they'll be ready by the middle of May or the end of May to be planted outside when they're still strong and not so tall and leggy and stringy like these ones are. Finally, 2 more plants, just because they're so interesting the way they grow. Look at this vine. It's from a bean plant. And there's the next set of leaves there. Down here is some earlier sets of leaves. You can see how much bigger they are. And they all are coming from this little plant. If I do transplant this one outside of the garden, it'll continue to vine and wrap around any sticks or poles it can reach to climb higher and higher and get more sunshine. If I keep it inside, well, that could be interesting too. I think it will grow better outside. And lastly, some of our flowers for our pollinators. These tiny little marigold plants are still quite small, but they get the telltale leaf shape of the marigold plant. You can see those jagged edges on some of the leaves. We talked last week about when we think about transplanting our plants. Mostly not until after the last frost. Our average last frost date is May 4th, but that's just an average. So to play it safe, people in Ohio usually wait until Mother's Day or even later, as May 16th marks the middle of May. Our latest recorded frost, though, is May 26th, so watch the weather and be safe before you transplant tender plants outside. Cool season crops are different. In Ohio, you can plant these crops in April and early May because they like cool weather and tolerate a little frost. But many of our summertime favorites are frost sensitive, and even the slightest frost can kill a lot of these plants. Take a look at this diagram. Now, our pollinator project is based on the relationship between plants and animals, plants and their pollinators. Both of these living things provide something for the other, so it's a very interesting relationship. The plants provide food for pollinating animals like honeybees and butterflies. But the pollinators provide a very important service as well. They fertilize the ovule of the plant by moving pollen from one flower to another, and that allows the creation of seeds. Before a seed can germinate and begin to grow, it first has to be pollinated. So remember this very important relationship. Plants providing food for pollinators, and pollinators providing pollination services so that plants can grow fruits and seeds and have another generation. So as the pollinators and the plants interact, unique seeds are produced. And these seeds are viable and can grow into a new plant. However, the longer you store them, the less chance you have that they will, in fact, germinate or grow. Our project this week is going to look at studying the germination rate of seeds because both of these seed packets are about 5 years old. I found them and they're from 2015. And I want to know, are they worth growing? Will they indeed sprout and germinate and grow into new bean plants and turnip greens? Or are they too old and do they need to be thrown out? For our materials, I'll need the seeds, some paper towels, some water, and some plastic bags with a seal at the top. And I used a Sharpie to label the name for beans and the date, 4/29, today is April 29th. Or in this case, turnip greens, also dated for today, April 29th. So the first step to calculate our germination rate is to take a paper towel, and we're going to get this paper towel wet. Not dripping wet, but moist. Dip that in our water, we'll pull it out, and then we're going to squeeze out the extra water. Then we're going to open up that paper towel and place 10 seeds in question inside the paper towel. I've got a bunch of these bean seeds and I want to know if they're still good 5 years later. So we'll lay the paper towel down. We'll place 10 bean seeds on the paper towel. Keep them all on this side down here. It's going to fold like that. Once we have the 10 seeds in there, we're going to fold the paper towel over them. And we're going to place that folded up paper towel inside our plastic bag. The paper towel will keep the seeds moist, and the plastic bag will keep the moisture inside the bag so it doesn't get away. We're going to end up taping this in a window. We'll see that later. For right now, we're going to seal the bag and set it on the table. And we're going to repeat our project with these much smaller seeds of the turnip greens. So the first step is still to get the paper towel wet. Squeeze out the extra water so it's moist but not soaking wet. Open up the paper towel. And now we're going to put the 10 seeds on that paper towel, all down at one end. Again, we'll fold the paper towel up, and having 10 seeds is important to calculate our germination rate. We'll fold it and fold it again so it fits in the bag. And once it's sealed, we're going to tape it to the window and allow the moisture and the sunlight and the warmth to inspire these seeds to germinate or begin to grow. And we'll keep these in the window this week, and next week we'll analyze them and find out what the germination rate is for each set of seeds. Have a great week and keep on growing.